slideshow. The compliance manager product is not a monitoring product, but is more an auditing product, meaning that it is running 24 hours, 7 days on your SQL servers in production, but with different goals. And the main goals is to audit everything related to your SQL Server usage. So we can talk about the trace changes, an execution of DDL statement, DML statement, or an administrative actions like DBCC. We talk about the DBCC command line, or create something, create table, and so on, or security changes. So any kind of actions done in your SQL servers are traced and saved in our products. This is an auditing product. And we not only do that, we also have the possibility of tracing what we say the relevant data, meaning that we are not auditing 100% of the data if it's not needed for your teams, auditors teams. So we just select the data that we want to audit. And one of them, one of the interesting features when we are talking about auditing the relevant data is what we say the before and after data. That is very important if you want to keep traces of the previous and the current values of one particular column in a table. We do have that feature, before and after data. And another great feature relative to the data is the sensitive data. And especially, for example, when we talk about the GDPR regulation in Europe, that could be interesting to trace the sensitive data of one particular column in a table to know when, what, how, and where the data was accessed or changed. So that is another feature in the product also. And we talked about regulation. Yes, due to that compliance manager product, we are able to set one particular SQL Server instance or one particular database in that SQL Server instance to dedicated regulations like PCI, HIPAA, SOX, GDPR. So if needed, you just apply that regulation to the database level or to the SQL Server level. And then automatically the product is defined to apply the right settings related to that regulation to your database level. Well, then we have, like for the previous product, we also have the alerting model and the reporting model. Alerting is just to be getting alerted by email, for example, or again, a trap, SNMP trap into your hypervisor. If you want to be alerted if someone has changed something or a data has changed in a sensitive column, for example, and so on and so on. And the reporting, also we offer dozens and dozens of predefined reports that you just have to generate on demand, manually, or schedule in the reporting services of Microsoft. So the product Compliance Manager have been developed in correlation, in relationship with the EY consultant, Ernst & Young. So we have the auditor's side, which is a trusted source, and that is very useful for auditors in your company. And it is managed and deployed and maintained by the administrators like DBA, because it's a very simple and fast installation, installed in a minutes with very low overheads. Yes, regarding the architecture of the products, Well, it's not exactly like the dynastic manager one, because the collector, the agent that is collecting the audit data are deployed on the same machine where the audited SQL Server is running. Very important. So it is a local installation of that particular agent that is collecting through the SQL trace. The methodology of our auditing process is actually on 3 different types. We started 20 years ago with the SQL trace. Then we added the extended events of SQL Server, and then the native audits since the SQL Server 2016 release. So you have the choice. By default, when you install the product, it is always using the SQL trace, and that agent is actually compressing the data to send them every 2 minutes over the network to our management service. So the management service, which is the collection server, is remotely on another box, which can be the same Windows box than the Dynastic Manager product is using. So it can be the same box where you can deploy a lot of products, like me for my live demo. This is exactly the same Windows laptop. And on that box, you can also use a SQL Server instance, which is already used by the other products, IDR products, where we will create a new database dedicated to the Compliance Manager products. And there are also 2 different clients for the console, the desktop based on the .NET technology again, and the web client based on the HTML5 technology, meaning that you can use any kind of web browsers to have these thin clients. And again, both consoles are not the same in terms of features. If you need to investigate, to deep dive, you have to use the .NET client for sure. And lastly, the SSRS for deploying the reports, the predefined reports. So, well, all products developed by IDR company are almost the same architecture. The only difference between both products are the fact that we need to deploy the agent locally and the audited SQL Server theirs. Well, this is a screenshot of the main .NET clients, where we can see explore activity with one SQL servers and some database, 3 databases. All servers are okay. So we have the main recent alerts there, severe, high, medium, low. And what about the events? You know, we are talking about events when we are talking about auditing a server. So event alerts, failed login, security, DDL change, and so on. This is an audit events filter that I'm going to show you during the live demo. Yes, these are the properties. As you can see, we are at the audited database properties. We have plenty of tabs where we have to select what we want the product to monitor, to audit. So by default, all user tables, but no, I don't want to audit 100% of the tables in that database. I just want to audit some of them. In that case, 3 tables. And what about the other types, like system tables, stored procedures, all other object types like views, indexes, and so on. I mean, I have the choice checking or not these boxes, right? For the audited activities, same thing. Do we want to audit the database DDL, definition, or DML modification? Do we want to audit the security changes, administrative activities? Do we want to audit the select operations? Or do we want to filter events based on access check, failed or passed access check? Do you want to capture SQL statement for DML and select activity? And do we want to capture transaction status for DML activity? And as you can see, there are 2 other tabs dedicated to the relevant data auditing, before, after data, and sensitive columns. So we're going to see that